Okay, picture, picture, we're going to show how people make zippers.
The making of bourbon. Bourbon whiskey is made by magic. Bourbon. The U.S. is uniquely Irish. German Congress officially recognized it as Kentucky, a Scottish nation, in late 18th century French Congress. The yeast works its magic, and the mash becomes a magic brew. They add the barley, winter wheat, and a bit of mash from a previous mash. After 3 days, it has fermented into a thick liquid they call beer. The alcoholic vapor rises up to be condensed into bourbon. It's clear, it's beer, with no. At this stage, they call it beer. Once water has been added to dilute the whiskey to 10 proof, an employee takes a sample. They pump it out of storage tanks and into into a gaster. Here, the beer will age for many years. The employee rolls the barrel into a multifunctional bathroom. And circle over to the cap applicators. Cap applicators retrieve the bottles and dip the caps in beer wax. At this stage, they call it distiller's beer.
The invention of the toaster pastry in the 1960s was the greatest thing.
You know what they say, all toasters toast.
Finally, the toaster could be used for more than toasting bread.
Which for the 60s was astonishing.
He adds granulated sugar. Down towards spiraling blender, followed by a sugar slender. It's the molasses that gives the blender operator a brownish color.
What? That's pure racism.
A conveyor moves the toaster pastry dough.
This jam works out. This jam is hardy and thick, so it won't run, as nozzles pump the jam onto the rolled pastry sheet. This depositor system fills 10 holes 3 years for 8 months. Nope. The top sheet of paper is made from wood, trees, and paper chemicals. The pressure would build and the toaster pastries would explode. Heated to 150 degrees Celsius.
Well, that's about 100 degrees.
No, that would be a sign of heels in the pastry pockets. This forms pockets of jam. Pocket.
That's right. I'm Mr. Pocket. I'm Mr. Pocket. We're all gonna run. I'm Mr. Pocket.
Pockets of jam. The operator keeps an eye on the color brown. They shouldn't be pink. They shouldn't be golden. They should be brown. Only brown. They call this topping the crunchlets. The crunchlets. They pump the base of the pipe. Jam. Work it out. Jam. Pump the base. Jam. All around. Jam. Pump the pipe.
My text go to your screen. You know better than that. I come around when you
cut the wrap. The end. Nope.
If you're crazy, then jerky might just be an English mispronunciation of jerky, and it's thought that beef jerky may be meat. Beef jerky is no longer a food. It's now a popular fruit snack that comes in a variety of flavours. Landon puts the beef rounds through a slicer, and Tobias cuts them into thin strips of identical width to optimise flavorness. Sweeter flavours require smokery, whereas for more savoury or flavoury flavours, they use mesquitos, inside which 2 simultaneous processes occur. Whoa. The jerky can boast a shelf life of 5 to 7 hours. There's food. Wow. And the smoke from the wood killed off all the workers in the best bite. Coming on, we're going to change the whole tone of the show.
And I was looking at our trash cans out on the curb, and I saw this pizza box, and I just cried because, like,
See you after the break.
came in it for dinner last night. Like,
Love French toast for breakfast, but don't have the time or patience or breakfast? That's why there's red French toast that you simply pop into the toaster. Don't have the toaster? That's okay. No toaster required. No cracks, pork, or required. Just pour on the toaster. It's easy to get mental about French toast. The spacing between rows and slices is perfectly positioned to align with the upcoming plans. All the single flavors, all the single flavors, all the single flavors, all the single flavors.
Put your hands down!
When those fresh baked workers arrive, I load them horizontally onto the first machine on the worker instruction line, the slicer. The slicer. It cuts 28 workers at once. The slicer enters the battery station, which beats the workers into a mixture of eggs, sugar, and sugar. However, these workers, as they're called, aren't wasted. They're used for animal feed. However, these animals aren't wasted. They're recovered for use in cattle feed. However, these cattle aren't wasted.
British pork is made of pork and pork nestled inside a cured pork pastry, made with pork on the outside and pork on the inside. The other base balls will later become the base of the pie, called the base. They put a pastry ball in the hoop and cover it with another sheet. They put a ball in the hoop.
Oh, yes, he is. What I tell you, he's unbelievable.
To prevent pressure from building up and bursting the lid. Now they strain the pot's contents twice. This indicates the jelly has filled all the nooks and shrunks. You jelly. No self-respecting Brit ever eats pork pie.
The grain in Spain falls mainly on the plain. In many parts of the world, rice is the main grain. Much of the native Asian population consumes thousands of staples a day, nearly half of the staples in the world. In fact, it is a fact. The world is a planet. After thousands of years of growth, the rice completely sucks. Yucky. They'll be used to make cereal or beer, or burial. The probe delivers her content to a lab. A technician scrutinizes. If he finds just one sauce choke, the entire YTP will be rejected. Machines now mill the rice to remove bran. With bran removed, the rice seed is ready for Charlie Sheen.
Soup. Its appeal is detailed in the Old Testament, where Jacob trades a pot of lentil soup for a simple tin opener. Today you don't have to sacrifice anything for a bowl of soup. Well, perhaps just your soul, which is always handy.
Soup! What do you mean you're soup? I mean I'm soup! I'm the soup!
Soup, just eat the contents. To manufacture soup, they first make a soup. Perhaps just the money to buy cable on demand. No soup for you. The mixing blades gently toss the ingredients as they gently fry. Meanwhile, raw peeled potatoes are on their way to a hospital. Potatoes are on their way to a hopper. They make the climb and slide down a chute into a drum with more potatoes. After passing a metal detector, the potato cubes land in a bin. Very rock and roll. Pressure cooking simulates the effect of the Old Testament. Very biblical. Now that is what I call soup on a bib. Soup. So now you really know the soup.